Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden, and welcome to Shifting Perspectives and Triadic Healing. This is the DIY Triadic Healing free course that is available on my website, www.annashealinggarden.org. If you take a look at the syllabus, you'll be able to see the entire syllabus in order, and you'll be able to follow through without a problem. So at this point, we are talking about internalizing versus projecting. Collecting my thoughts. This one is a big one. There are two kinds of people. Well, actually, there's three kinds of people. There are people who are, why is my pen not working? I cannot do my job without a pen. There are people who project. There are people who internalize, and there are people who are assertive. You've heard passive aggressive. You've heard assertive. And we all know about aggressors. This is where all of this comes together. If you are passive, if you are an avoidant, then you internalize. You are passive. You are most likely a doormat. You might view yourself as an empath. If you are aggressive, you are probably not watching this video. You are most likely a narcissist. Narcissists don't ask for help. You might have anger management issues. You're not actually having anger management issues. What you have is boundary and communication issues. Right words, please. Right words get us the right solutions to the problem. So if you are a projector, you are someone who struggles with aggression. Narcissists fall into this category. And anger management, that's not really anger management, falls into this category. People who project are those who lash out and seek to control others. They feel control by projecting onto others. And if you are assertive, well, congratulations, you are healthy. If you are assertive, you use your boundaries. You neither internalize, you use a boundary to keep the internalization away from you so you don't internalize other people's bullshit. You use your boundaries so that when people project onto you, you say, excuse you. No, you don't, you're not allowed, you keep your shit off of me. And you make sure that you don't project and put your shit on other people. That's what boundaries are for. It's to keep the internalizing and the projection in check, both on the outside and on the inside. So imagine that you are you right here, and you have people on either side of you. Now, there's people who internalize what you say. So you could just be your authentic, awesome self. You could just be you. And people who internalize will internalize it, take it and make it about themselves, and then they will recoil and slide back into the corner and just think, oh my God, did I say something? That's internalizing. They are the ones who immediately obsess and assume that they are the problem. What did I do wrong? I'm sorry. Did I bother you? Even though they had absolutely nothing to do. They are the people who over apologize with, I'm so sorry. These are people who internalize. I'm talking to all of you. The people who project are people who are lashing out. They're the gaslighters. They're the ones who every time you say something in yourself, they'll get in your face. What's that supposed to mean? That's a projector. That is somebody who internalizes, but then they throw it back at you. They make it about themselves. Now, both of these people make it about themselves. The internalizer and the projector both make it about themselves. The difference is the internalizer is the avoidant and it's quiet. The projector is the anxious attachment style and they lash out aggressively. And again, that's the narcissist. So when you have a boundary, you are learning assertive behavior. And you are learning to hear the authenticity of other people and not internalize it. You are watching, witnessing, experiencing the projection of other people, and you're keeping it away from you. So that's really it. You have somebody who's being authentic and you're not offended by their authenticity. And you have somebody who's projecting and you're saying, "Excuse you, keep that shit off of me." And then you have yourself making sure you're not internalizing other people, making sure you're not the one going, "Oh my God, is this about me?" Making sure you're not the one going, "Well, that isn't right. Why'd you do it that way? You should have done it this." Now that's projecting. Anytime you use the words "you should," pause, step back. Are you projecting? This one's the hardest one. This one is really the hardest one. I am still trying to figure out the word should. I use it as a yellow flag. And every time I say the word should, even in these videos, every time I say the word should, my brain goes, did I just project? Was that abusive? Did I just gaslight them? Every single time. The word should is a really great yellow flag to tell you, watch it, watch it. Are you close to projecting your bullshit onto other people? When you are a parent, your children do not have the ability to stop internalizing and projecting. It is your job as a parent to make sure that you stop the projections of other people onto your child. It is your job as a parent to prevent your child from projecting their bullshit onto other people. That is what a parent is supposed to do. You are the projection referee. If your child is internalizing something and immediately going inward and becoming avoidant, it is your job to teach your child, don't make this about you. Their abuse and their bullshit is all about them. Oh, honey, that's just somebody being authentic. Has nothing to do with you. This is about security and insecurity. Now, in the case of the passive and the projector, in the case of the internalizer and the projector, that is insecurity. 1000%. That is insecurity. And it comes from not using your boundaries. It comes from not communicating your limitations. It comes from you not talking. And that is true on both sides. Somebody who is secure is somebody who uses their boundaries, somebody who asserts themselves, and someone who keeps their bullshit off of other people because they're using their boundaries. They are somebody who is authentic, they have their boundaries, they are assertive, they're making sure that other people's issues are not about them, and they're also making sure that people aren't projecting their bullshit onto them. That is ideally where we want to be. But this is not where many of us live because it requires an up and operating defense system. So, when you have emotions, emotions are on a spectrum. I love doing this. Emotions are on a spectrum. And in the case of the internalizer, the avoidant, and the anxious attachment style, the aggressor, you have two emotions that are absolutely working in play with each other. Those emotions are humility and self-value. Ideally, you want them both equaled and balanced out so that they pull on each other. And that is when the humility pulls the self-value into check and the self-value pulls the humility into check. So you have a nice balance. When you have that balance, the emotions negate each other out and you end up with this beautiful place of assertion, having authenticity, and using your boundaries effectively. But if you lack self-value, then your humility is going to go all the way over to this extreme. And that's where you start to internalize. That's when you're passive. That's when you're an avoidant. And that's when you start to get into some serious problems with self-esteem. Likewise, this person over here goes this direction with it. And they have a surplus of self-value, self-importance, without any humility to keep that in check. These people become narcissists. And these people become empaths. In the middle of them is your healthy balance of assertive behavior. This is where you want to be. The only way to get here is by having a properly up and operating defense system. If you do not have this defense system in place, you're not going to stay here where you need to be. You are going to be either here or over here. Now, this is where the emotion anger comes into place and it gets really tricky. The emotion anger is a healthy emotion. It is a good emotion. It is the final emotion from your defense system that tells you you need to use a boundary and defend yourself. You need to assert yourself using a boundary to say, excuse you, I don't like that it makes me uncomfortable. Or excuse you, keep your projections off of me. That is healthy boundary setting. That is what we are supposed to be doing when we feel anger or frustration. Technically, frustration. Whenever we feel discomfort, discomfort is stage 1 of the defense emotion. Frustration is stage 2 and anger is stage 3. I'm going to point out to you, nowhere in this setup is there fear, because there is no fear here, because this actually comes from the love system. This is self-love. This is, I love me so much that I'm going to protect me. This is equivalent to mama bear love. When you have a child who's under attack from somebody and the mama bear steps up and says, "What the hell do you think you're doing to my child?" That's not fear. That's mama getting in your face saying, "Get the hell away from my child." That's love. This is absolute solid love. Anger is actually love. Now, when you are really good at managing the system, you are supposed to be sensitive to the feeling discomfort. When you were a child, you felt discomfort. You were not properly taught what discomfort is, so you ignored the feeling discomfort and you pushed through it, because discomfort is a very mild emotion. So unless it's painful, we don't pay attention to it because we're not taught to. This is a problem. The second emotion is frustration. This is the precursor to anger. Again, it's kind of annoyance is also in there. That's like, yeah, that's up there too. Annoying is like right after frustration. So it's discomfort, frustration, annoying, and then anger. These are all the different levels. By the time it gets to anger, you're at like level 10 of, wow, you should have used your boundaries like all the way back 8 levels ago. And once you get better at asserting yourself and using your boundaries, you're going to get to a point where you only feel discomfort or annoyance or frustration, and then you'll use the boundary and you won't ever be angry. This happens at stage 9. At stage 9 of the growth, when you get to the 9th perspective, this is when this really sets in. So that by the time you stop feeling anger because you just feel discomfort, you feel annoyance, and then you know, oh, here's my boundary. You use your boundary and it goes right back down again. So it's, oh, there's discomfort. This is what I feel. Okay, it goes away. And you're at a level 1, level 2. This is beautiful emotional management, because you never get to anger. You never need the level 10 emotions because you are already educated and skilled at using them, which is why you're at level 9. Because at level 9, you have gotten to the point where you master these emotions so effectively with boundary setting. Boundary setting, you learn that at perspective 8. And for reference, you're supposed to be at perspective 8 when you're 8 years old. So your parents are supposed to be playing this referee to you, for you, until you're 8 years old, when you can finally articulate your boundaries on your own at 8 years old. So that by the time you're 9 and 10, you're proficient at telling people to fuck off if you need to. But we're not taught that in our society. So none of this goes the way it's supposed to go. So none of this works because we're not taught this shit. This is self-comfort. This is what a nurturer is supposed to be teaching you, that use your boundaries, communicate. Instead, we're taught that children should be seen and not heard. We're taught the opposite, that you're not supposed to communicate. Communication is the core of boundary setting, of articulating your defense. It's everything. Communication is everything. Boundaries and communication are identical. Now, in the case of third perspectives and everybody else who associates anger with violence and anger with aggression, what's happening in those cases is you're feeling discomfort and your brain is going, oh, I'm not supposed to say anything. I'm supposed to be nice. And then you feel annoying and you feel frustrated. You feel like you want to lash out. Oh, I got to keep that under control. I want to make sure I'm approved of. I need to make sure I'm good. And then boom, the anger explodes. That's when you explode and you start punching somebody. You start, and that the reason why this is the case is because you did not use your boundaries. You did not use your defense system. So what happened was your fear system kicked in, because once you get to your anger, your fear system kicks on if your defense system does not kick on. Now remember, anger is just the emotion. Anger is just the emotion. So when the communication boundary setting fails to turn on, it is your fear system that's backup. One of the crime of passion, oh my God, I'm going to have to do a video just on crimes of passion. Oh my God, that's going to be so much fun. Crimes of passion. Oh no, I can't even touch it here. That is going to be in the next video, actually. So, um, emotional prosthetics. I'm going to get into that. So, yeah, I'm just going to shelve crime of passion for a whole nother thing because that's something else. That's wow. Is that something else? So when you are at that particular moment with your fear system, where you are internalizing and projecting, it's a huge question of how is your insecurity. Now, here's the beautiful thing: the more you use your boundaries, the more secure you feel. Secure, security system, defense system. You see how these words are all related? You have a defense system. You feel secure. Your security system has increased because you're using your boundaries. Now you feel secure. You feel insecure when your insecurity is low because your security system is off, which is your defense system. See how this works? So it is really, really important that you get into the habit of defending yourself by using your boundaries, by communicating what it is you need and want and desire. That way, your defense system stays up and operating. The more you do that, the more secure you feel. The more you feel secure, the less you will internalize shit, the less you will project shit because you will be assertive with boundaries and your authentic self that you will be able to preserve with your boundaries while also making sure that you keep your shit off of other people. This is how it works. This is it right here. So pay attention to how you internalize. Pay attention to how you project. Oh my God, this is a big deal. If everyone did this, this would resolve a lot. In fact, this is really the core to all of this is when you start to realize, oh my God, I'm internalizing that. Oh my God, I'm projecting that. It's that, and projecting is the feeling control. It's when you feel like you need to control. People who internalize have zero control. So they are just in the abyss of feeling absolutely out of control. Addiction is very common with people who over internalize. Projectors are usually violent, or they're verbally violent, or they're loud, or they act out in other methods, such as shopping or sexual activity, or they're cutters, or they are self mutilators because they're projecting. They're needing to seek out some sort of feeling control. In both cases, they are feeling a need to control. The person who is assertive, who uses boundaries with authenticity, that person takes control. That person is taking control. Whereas those who are insecure are feeling control through other methods, through supplements, through prosthetics, which we're going to talk about next. This is a topic that I cover time and time again. It's going to keep coming up. And with every topic that it comes up with, I take a different angle on it. This one is internalizing versus projecting. So this is the angle we're going to take on it. When we cover it again, it's going to come up again, but I'm going to show you a different perspective on the same subject. And that's going to give you greater insight. I think I've got 3 different lessons on this particular topic alone where you're going to keep seeing all the different variations. So keep watching and stay tuned for that. If you love shit like this, go ahead and subscribe, like, follow, comment below. Let me know what part of this show resonated with you. Donate to the garden, help the garden grow. And if you want to jump into our Triadic Healing class, it's free online. Just click the link below and get started. Thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.